It's been revealed that the producers of the Beverly Hillbillies, one of the most beloved programs in television history, kept us chuckling and watching for years while concealing a plethora of secrets. Check it out because we've got all the salacious details of your beloved Hillbillies. Not the critic's choice. For approximately 9 years, the long-running program was a triumph. Fans identified strongly with the ordinary country people who muddled matters in the affluent Beverly Hills. Critics, nevertheless, failed to perceive the allure. Notwithstanding its 7 Emmy nominations throughout the years, the program continued to be deemed strained and unfunny and awful to endure by critics. Irrespective of personal perspectives, the series' triumph and widespread appeal make it among the most viewed programs on television. In 1993, the studio attempted to recreate the enchantment with a film adaptation, but it received abysmal reviews and generated only average profits. The initial spark simply didn't exist. Actress turned politician. Nancy Kulp portrayed the perpetually unmarried and love-deprived Miss Jane Hathaway on the program. She was not only a gifted actress, but also a linguist, a teacher, and an aspiring politician, among her many other accomplishments. Kulp initially pursued a career in public relations, but upon relocating to Hollywood, discovered herself occupied more with production duties than behind the scenes. She turned to politics after 9 years on the Beverly Hillbillies and abandoned acting to run for the Democratic nomination in Pennsylvania's House of Representatives. An inexpensive estate. The producer of Beverly Hillbillies, Paul Henning, paid $500 to use a residence in Bel Air for filming. The mansion they occupied was constructed in 1933 and is situated in the Kirkby district. It features immaculate lawns and an expansive garden. The area came to be known as the opulent residence, where the Beverly Hillbillies resided after becoming wealthy. Jerry Parancino, a television mogul and real estate developer, purchased the mansion following the completion of the production. He demolished the majority of the residence in order to expand the mansion and incorporate underground parking. Friends on camera. Buddy Ebsen portrayed Jed Clampett, the comedic protagonist of the program. It's come to light that Ebsen and his co-star, Nancy Kulp, did not maintain a cordial rapport off-set. Even though Ebsen was opposed to Kulp's political stances, he volunteered to assist her opponent by appearing in a radio advertisement against her. Nancy was the Democratic candidate for the House of Representatives in 1984, but Bud Schuster, the Republican nominee, defeated her by a wide margin. Buddy's actions reportedly deeply offended Nancy, who claimed that he ought to have avoided the situation. Sharon Tate in a wig. In the 1960s, Sharon Tate, an American model and actress, appeared in a few films and on television. Sadly, her most enduring reputation is that of a casualty in the 1969 Manson family homicides. At the time of her passing, Sharon and her husband, the director Roman Polanski, were expecting their first child. As Janet Trigo, she had a recurring role on the program, appearing in approximately 15 episodes. Sharon would disguise herself during public appearances by donning a brunette hairdo. Striking it rich. Much like the unexpected financial fortune that befell Jed Clampett, the Beverly Hillbillies became an instantaneous smash success, elevating the status of every participant, including the producers and actors. The sincere and unpretentious Clampetts gained the affection of the American people by remaining straightforward and not putting on an act. Each of these endearing characters discovers a successful formula. With an initial investment of $25 million, the Beverly Hillbillies grossed over $100 million by the show's conclusion. That's quite a feat, and it also comes with a respectable salary. Plagued by Alzheimer's. The banker's influence on the Beverly Hillbillies was enduring. Every newly minted millionaire would benefit from some sound financial management advice. On the renowned program, Raymond Bailey portrayed the financially astute Mr. Drysdale. Unfortunately, Bailey developed early Alzheimer's disease symptoms during the final 2 seasons of the program. In recent episodes, his condition became increasingly evident. Raymond Bailey, who was 75 years old at the time of his death in 1980, was compelled to cease acting shortly after the performance concluded. Shady business dealings. An audience favorite was Jethro Bodine, who portrayed Jed's adopted nephew on the program. He was kind but stupid. According to Baer Jr., In reality, he was so astute that he successfully sued CBS. In fact, he lodged 5 distinct accusations against the television industry. It was discovered that CBS was aware that a restaurant chain was using the actor's name. However, they refrained from disclosing this information to Baer for unknown reasons. In its place, the network reached a covert settlement agreement. Baer was quoted as saying, "It's not a secret, we simply can't discuss it." 2 for the price of 1. Max Baer Jr. wore a dress and portrayed Jethrine Bodine, the identical twin sibling of his character, without hesitation. Fortunately, this is the case, as the sequence involving her were hilarious. While he portrayed both Jethro and his ordinary counterpart, Linda Henning provided the voice of Jethrine. Linda is the progeny of the renowned author of the Beverly Hillbillies, Paul Henning. Not only are the sketches iconic, but they're also belly-chilling humorous. Keep in mind that the production was still in black and white at the time. Therefore, Max Baer Jr. was among the first male actors to portray a female character on television. Hidden scandal. Allegedly, there was some conflict in the Beverly Hillbillies because Sonny was actually Margaret Drysdale's son from a prior relationship. Although this doesn't pose a significant problem, he was consistently referred to on the program as Sonny Drysdale, which was not his actual surname. According to the show's experts, Sonny's surname was Adonis, which derived from his father and Margaret's first spouse. The rationale behind the writer's decision to incorporate a progressive twist in a later season stage is not entirely apparent. Animals on the set. Although you're not seeing things, the subject is in fact carrying a raccoon on its back, yet she continues to beam. Ellie May Clampett's residence among the Hillbillies was renowned for housing an extensive assortment of creatures. Evident from this photograph is that she was completely at ease around a wide variety of animals, not just common household companions. The popular program included pigeons and skunks alike. However, Ellie May was not expected to enchant the creatures on her own. A full-time animal trainer named Frank Inn was present on set. His attention was paid to the feline companions, and the cast enjoyed their presence immensely. Or at the very least, the canines and felines. The skunks and raccoons are unknown. Start your day off right. Kellogg's was a primary sponsor of the Beverly Hillbillies, as you may be aware. It appears that they made little effort to conceal this fact. Evidently indicating something off-screen, Jed Clampett appears following the introductory credits and theme song. As the camera pans, Kellogg's cornflakes appear on a billboard. As the theme song continues, the famous slogan, K-E-L-L-O-double good, is introduced. Best of Kellogg to you. It's evident from this advertisement that the show's cherished characters served as brand spokespersons for an extended period of time. Typecasting. It would come as an astonishment to discover that the true identity of Max Baer Jr. is Maximilian Adalbert. That certainly does sound sophisticated. Baer is best known for his performance on the Beverly Hillbillies as the plotting but endearing Jethro Bodine. However, subsequent to the conclusion of the production, the actor encountered considerable difficulty in securing alternative roles, particularly those that required him to portray someone other than a jovial hillbilly. In Hollywood, it's not uncommon for actors to be pigeonholed into performing similar characters. Baer, after being presented with several comparable opportunities, made the decision to shift his focus from acting to writing, producing, and directing. The Ballad of Jed Clampett. The enchanting theme song of the program narrated the proverbial rags to prosperity. The composition was appropriately designated the Ballad of Jed Clampett, featuring compositions by bluegrass duo Flatt and Scruggs and lyrics performed by Jerry Scoggins. Possibly, even if you do not recall every episode of the Beverly Hillbillies, you're able to repeat the song. Oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Even more so, in the year the program debuted, the iconic song peaked at number 44 on the Billboard Hot 100. Granny Moses. Granny is virtually indistinguishable from Irene Ryan, but at first the producers were contemplating casting Bea Benaderet, an accomplished actress and vocal prodigy in the role. Surprisingly, they believed Bea Benaderet to be too large and voluptuous to pass for Granny Moses. The roadkill eater convincingly. Evidently, the seasoned actress harbored no ill will towards Irene Ryan and even suggested her for the role. Ryan was immediately hired following her outstanding screen test. The audition is accessible as an additional feature on the DVD supplements. Made to be a hillbilly. Buddy Ebsen is already well known to fans of 1960s films, including the classic film Breakfast at Tiffany's. In the 1961 film, he portrays an individual who bears a striking resemblance to Jed Clampett. A year later, Buddy Ebsen was offered the role in the Beverly Hillbillies as a result of his performance in the film. Because Ebsen delivered such an outstanding performance, we're now not bothered by the typecasting. Who else would have portrayed the miner-turned-millionaire more mesmerizingly and captured our hearts? Almost retired. Despite enjoying a prosperous acting, writing, and music career following the cancellation of the Beverly Hillbillies in the 1970s, Buddy Ebsen was contemplating retirement prior to the premiere of the hit program. In fact, he was contemplating a career change in the entertainment industry just prior to the series' pre-production phase. The premiere of the premiere episode, titled The Beverly Hillbillies, The Clampett Strike Oil in 1962, indicates that he evidently underwent a transformation. Following the crew's completion of the pilot in December 1961, no further progress was made. My Levi's. The popular television series The Dukes of Hazzard is proof that a stunning blonde wearing denim has America's complete attention. Legendary jean manufacturer Levi Strauss acknowledged at the conclusion of the first season of the Beverly Hillbillies that the stunning Ellie May was excellent for business. In an interview, a brand executive even remarked, "Donna Douglas has contributed more to the success of blue denim in 1 year than Ranch has had in a century." Just the right name. Despite the fact that the original title for the program was the Hillbillies of Beverly Hills, the Beverly Hillbillies is an infinitely superior way to link everything together. The pilot episode is the sole instance in which the initial name is mentioned. By the second episode, the title had been improved. We sincerely hope that whoever devised the new title receives a promotion or a salary increase. They undoubtedly contributed to the success of the program and ought to be acknowledged for their impact on the annals of television history. Payment fit for a cowboy. Since time immemorial, the first thing that comes to mind when one hears the word cowboy is John Wayne. In the 5th season of the Beverly Hillbillies, Wayne appeared in a cameo titled The Indians Are Coming. In the memorable scene, Granny expresses a desire for the renowned rancher to appear and assist them in their battle against the Indians. This was evidently a time when political correctness was less prevalent. The infamous rifle slinger materializes abruptly. A Hollywood rumor circulates that Wayne was compensated 1/5 of a bourbon for his appearance. That's simply incredible. The show lives on. Jethro Bodine, portrayed by Baer Jr., is the only surviving member of the original cast's principal ensemble. There remains a single aspiration that he has yet to fulfill in relation to the Beverly Hillbillies. Based on the program, Baer intends to construct themed restaurants and casinos throughout Las Vegas, Nevada. He's obtained sub-licensing rights for food items and slot machines, so it's likely that the eccentric characters will continue to draw admirers for a long time. One talented family. In 1936, Buddy Ebsen and his sister Vilma relocated to Los Angeles. Broadway Melody, a critically acclaimed musical film, featured both siblings in the cast. In addition to being nominated for 3 Academy Awards, the film also garnered one for Best Dance Direction. It was indisputable that Buddy Ebsen would achieve stardom. Even though she had a few more roles in films and Broadway productions, Broadway Melody remains his sister's most recognizable work. She retired from the entertainment industry a few years later, had children, and then established her own renowned dance studio. Iconic wheels. The Hillbillies traveled in an Oldsmobile 46 Roadster vehicle from 1921. As a tribute to the bicentennial, the museum received a donation in 1976 from the renowned automobile, which had gained considerable notoriety throughout the years. Even more notably, the renowned wheels were transported from Europe to England for a few episodes that occurred there. The expenditure proved to be highly advantageous, as the renowned Hicks refused to venture outside without their jalopy. This image depicts every one of the vehicle's extraordinary accessories. We particularly enjoy the trumpets. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Before Buddy Ebsen's triumphant performance as Jed Clampett, the actor appeared in Broadway productions with Shirley Temple and Judy Garland. Curiously, he initially collaborated with Garland on her most renowned role to date, the Scarecrow in the classic film The Wizard of Oz. However, upon the casting of Ray Bolger, he was reassigned to the character of Tin Man. Unfortunately, a reaction to the metallic makeup forced him to renounce his participation in the production. Although Buddy Ebsen attributed his subsequent health issues to The Wizard of Oz, he outlived every other principal character from the film. A man of many talents. Bud Sabag Palacio had an innate aptitude for the entertainment industry due to his multifaceted skills. He possessed not only dance credentials, but also acting prowess. Boy, could he croon. After the triumph of the Beverly Hillbillies, it was only natural for him to seek out other opportunities to express his inner hillbilly. Soon after, Ebsen began to release country music tracks with folk undertones. It's now evident that he could not only appear, but also sound the part. His comforting and comfortable compositions lend an atmosphere of coziness to the country music genre. Timeless beauty. Despite significant shifts in fashion and hairstyle since the 1960s, Donna Douglas has consistently exhibited an inherent attractiveness. Douglas was an athlete throughout high school, participating in both basketball and softball. Prior to achieving success in the entertainment industry, she won the titles of Miss New Orleans and Miss Baton Rouge. Donna Douglas has won contest after contest, and it's not difficult to understand why. Shortly after her discovery, she acquired the common name Ellie May Clampett. Never too old. Following the conclusion of the Beverly Hillbillies, Irene Ryan came to the realization that it's never too late to pursue one's ambitions. Shortly after the cancellation of the program, Irene Ryan declined an offer for a comparable role on television, despite the fact that she was best known for her performances as Granny. She opted to relocate to New York in order to hone her abilities on Broadway. Her own accomplishments serve as proof that it's never too late to reinvent oneself. Time to say goodbye. Everything that's excellent must come to an end, including an outstanding track record and devoted supporters. The network canceled the Beverly Hillbillies in 1971 after 9 seasons of considerable success. Fred Silverman, an executive at CBS, believed that the program had lost its allure and no longer presented pastoral life in a distinctive manner. At that time, comparable programs such as Petticoat Junction and Green Acres were airing on the network. The Clampett family was no longer appreciative, as these competing programs that also depicted small-town life had gained significant popularity. We're number 1. The elation felt by the show's creators, actors, producers, and personnel upon the Beverly Hillbillies debuting at number 1 in television ratings after only 3 weeks of airing is nearly indescribable. This was the most rapid ascent to the number 1 position in television history. The absurd sitcom shattered numerous television records. It maintained its position in the top 20 for an astounding 8 seasons and remained the highest-rated program for an astounding 2 years. Applauding the Hillbillies. Too little, too late. In 1993, nearly 30 years after the Beverly Hillbillies was published, a spin-off film was produced. Given the show's immediate and enduring success, it stands to reason that the film would also shatter box office records. Sadly, that didn't come to pass. It would be the lengthy hiatus between the television series and the film, or the casting of unfamiliar actors in the roles of the cherished Clampetts. Regardless of the justifications, critics and viewers unanimously agreed that the movie was among the worst of all time. Surprisingly, we both thoroughly relished the campy classic. Dr. Granny, M.D. Folk remedies continue to maintain widespread popularity, particularly in households seeking to conserve money on costly medications. This is particularly true for Granny, the pseudo-physician who appeared on the program, an authentic rustic. Her complete designation was Dr. Granny, M.D., but the initials represented Mountain Doctor rather than Medical Doctor. She was an exceptionally distinguished physician. It appears that much of her advice would be more beneficial to your health than many of the expensive prescriptions we receive today. What's for dinner? Putting the newly acquired millions aside, the Clampetts insisted on conserving whenever possible. Around the pool table, the family frequently shared dinner. Why spend money on an opulent dining table when the game of billiards can be utilized instead? We suppose that makes some sense. Even more absurd is the fact that they mistook the rhinoceros skull adorning the wall for a pool cue, which explains the room's moniker. An instant before you believe the Clampetts have reached a certain level of understanding, they have you chuckling and shaking your head. Fish out of water. You're likely familiar with the expression "like a fish out of water." It typically indicates that an individual is situated in a circumstance that disrupts their sense of equilibrium. They're out of place among the people and the surroundings, which gives rise to the idiom. Additionally, the Beverly Hillbillies was called a fish out of water. It was the inaugural television program to be designated as such, by virtue of its establishment of an entirely novel genre. The performance was truly remarkable, but in a positive manner, the expression was intended as a compliment in this instance. Just a small-town girl. Irene Ryan, an actress, was born on October 17, 1902 in San Francisco, California, and passed away in 1973 in Santa Monica, California. Ryan, a native Californian, possessed extensive travel experience as a result of her involvement in television, film, radio, and the Broadway industry. In contrast, Granny led a considerably more sheltered existence. She shared frequently on the program that she was born and raised in Limestone, Tennessee. Irene Ryan's prowess as an actress was evident in these discussions as we listened to each word. Granny's speech and behavior exemplified precisely what her character signifies. Best episode ever. Despite ongoing debates, Hedda Hopper's Hollywood was deemed the most successful and popular episode across all 9 seasons of the Beverly Hillbillies. In 1997, TV Guide ranked episode 62 on its 100 greatest episodes of all time list. It was regarded as having directly attracted new viewers to the program. That's a truly remarkable achievement. It was in large part due to the fact that the women on the program were so fantastic. These incredible actresses are indispensable to the program. Without them, it would be nothing. Hillbilly Barbie. Ellie May Clampett was the lovely daughter of Jed Clampett. She preferred interacting with animals to doing her manicures and other feminine pursuits. Despite her attractiveness, nevertheless, Mattel resolved to incorporate her into one of the 3 Barbie models comprising their classic TV collection. The figurine made actress Donna Douglas feel good, but she ultimately decided to sue the company for making it without her permission. The most problematic aspect was that the packaging featured an outdated black and white photograph of her. In the end, the litigation was resolved amicably outside of a courtroom. Street smarts. Should you have overlooked this, the term hillbilly generally denotes an individual who is sluggish-witted or archaic, which is not exactly a compliment. While this aspect was not extensively deliberated upon in the program, Jed Clampett possessed a minimal formal education. He's not particularly book-savvy due to his limited educational opportunities. Happily, Jed Clampett applies his sagacity and prudent judgment to his recently acquired wealth when he discovers oil. From the same neck of the woods. Devoted admirers of the Beverly Hillbillies might recall the apparition of vocalist Pat Boone. In a special episode, the musical star portrayed himself. Boone willingly consented to appear on the program, contingent solely on his desire to be from the same regions of the United States as Jed, Granny, and the remaining hillbillies. Behold the spectacle of the legendary vocalist Pat Boone and the Clampett's enthusiastic promotion of the song in front of the entire globe. It was as if we required an additional rationale to cherish him. Read the fine print. The entertainment industry is notoriously difficult, which is why network executives, producers, and actors alike must be able to comprehend legal documents or know someone who can. CBS purchased the rights to the Beverly Hillbillies when it was canceled after 9 series. However, the network failed to renew the rights for the initial 33 episodes. Due to the ambiguity surrounding their possession, these episodes are currently in the public domain. Despite this, individuals at random continued to distribute the original seasons on DVD and VHS throughout the years. JFK. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy occurred on November 22, 1963. The entire nation of America was astounded and inconsolable following his death. Unbelievably, the 8 episodes of the Beverly Hillbillies that debuted subsequent to the assassination received the highest ratings in the annals of television. Although it might simply be a comical occurrence, we're convinced that the nation requires an escape from the severe realities of life in order to enjoy some light-hearted entertainment. It was among the most beloved programs of the decade for a reason. Cruising. The beloved element of the Beverly Hillbillies is the family vehicle, which is secured with all items except for the kitchen sink. Granny's chair affixed to the roof, and Jethro's gleaming countenance at the wheel. The Clampetts were vigilant for roadkill while they were cruising, intending to procure it for cooking at home. The affluent truck belonged to Pearl, their cousin. She lent it to them in order to facilitate their relocation to California after becoming extremely wealthy with it. She exhibited a remarkable display of thoughtfulness by lending them her 1921 Olds. Signals crossed. Despite the advent of email and smartphones, wires continue to be crossed. During the 1960s, when mail was the predominant method of communication, this was considerably more prevalent. Thus, one can only speculate as to the magnitude of errors that television networks encountered during that era. In 1966, NCRV, a Dutch organization, purportedly broadcast the final episode of the Beverly Hillbillies. Despite this, the program continued to be immensely popular and thrive. The error remained undetected until 1973. The program had concluded and ceased to be broadcast globally at that point. Nonetheless, the Dutch were in for a treat when NCRV broadcast the 6 years of episodes that had been absent. Top dollar. In 1962, the Beverly Hillbillies introduced us to Jed Clampett, a wealthy man who, despite amassing a staggering $25 million fortune, remained loyal to himself. Adjusted for inflation, that amount is equivalent to approximately $195 million in present value. Remember when we stated that the Clampetts had amassed a net worth of over $100 million by the conclusion of the 9th season? In 2017, that would equate to approximately $583 million. Is it even possible to imagine earning that much cash? Sounds like a very attractive offer. Where do we sign up? Duke. Frank Inn, who was in command of the Clampett family companion, was the animal trainer on the set of the Beverly Hillbillies, as previously stated. The cherished Bloodhound Duke was an integral part to the Clampett household. Evidently, this was the case, given that he'd been associated with Jed prior to his relocation to California and had witnessed their master's discovery of oil. Consider the expression, man's best friend, is the loveliest how Duke's fur curls and pleats everywhere, but it also causes him to appear a little dejected and frequently confused. Commerce Bank. The fact that the Clampetts maintained their funds at Milburn Drysdale's Commerce Bank, as depicted in the Beverly Hillbillies, is widely recognized. The fact that the bank is named after an actual bank in Kansas City, Missouri is not widely known. It's revealed that the show's creator, Paul Henning, once resided in close proximity to the bank during his childhood and successfully elevated it from obscurity. Additionally, you can utilize elements from your personal life when you have your own popular program. Quite a mouthful. The designations of characters hold significant importance in both film and television. The name provides context for the character and informs the audience of what to anticipate. At times, omitting a name can add an intriguing element. The reason behind the decision on the show's creators to name Margaret Drysdale's father, Lowell Farquhar, is unknown. Although I'm not entirely certain of the correct pronunciation of that surname as well. Try to pronounce it 10 times quickly. Nonetheless, in all honesty, one cannot err with a Smith or a Jones. We Are Family. Since 1971, the Beverly Hillbillies has aired. An astounding 274 episodes and 9 phenomenal seasons comprise the popular program's phenomenal run. Donna Douglas, Irene Ryan, and Buddy Ebsen were the only 3 performers to appear in every episode of the program. It appears that Granny, Jed, and his daughter Ellie May constituted the series' true backbone. Honestly, this uncommon photograph of all three generations in character makes us feel a little envious of the bond that existed between them. Although we suspect Jethro appeared in each episode as well, the overall picture is still quite impressive. Jed Clampett writes poetry. Buddy Ebsen was a published author in addition to being a highly distinguished actor. The title of the novel he published was Kelly's Quest. It's possible that you overlooked it, as the book was published many years after he retired from the entertainment industry. The novel comprised an anthology of poems that chronicled the experiences of a youthful woman named Kelly as she navigated the ups and downs of life. In spite of encountering rejections from 9 distinct publishers, Buddy Ebsen made the independent decision to publish the book. In 2001, the book debuted at number 3 on the LA Times paperback bestseller list with its distinctive perspective on life. A Girl's Best Friend. Chimpanzees were depicted in both the 1960s original television series and the 1990s film adaptation. As previously stated, Ellie May possessed a profound affection for animals. She kept Skipper and Bessie as companion chimpanzees. Nothing is more endearing than a chimpanzee adorned in a diminutive dress, which we estimate to be purple in color. These are likely the 3rd loveliest animals, following cats and dogs, that we would desire to play with on the set of the Beverly Hillbillies. Intelligent and beautiful. What a combination. Here comes Barnaby. Who comes to mind when you think of this actor from the infamous 1993 film Beverly Hillbillies? Buddy Ebsen was still quite excellent despite his appearance in the film. However, his prominent role as Jed Clampett didn't make him a ubiquitous name. He also starred in the successful series Barnaby Jones. Lee Merriweather and Buddy Ebsen starred in the detective show. The actors portrayed a father and daughter-in-law duo who managed an LA-based private investigation firm. Due to its considerable success, the program ran for 7 seasons. Regrettably, the legendary actor expired in 2003 at the advanced age of 95. A Bright Idea. In 1959, as Paul Henning was traversing the southern United States and visiting significant Civil War sites, he conceived the initial notion for the program. The crux of the matter was assimilating an individual from a rural southern region into a community of the upper strata. His initial idea was to film the program in New York City. However, due to the complexity and expanse of that plan, the location was changed to Beverly Hills. Henning is also credited with introducing audiences to the critically acclaimed television series Petticoat Junction and Green Acres. Granny's Beverly Hillbillies Cookbook. Irene Ryan was elevated from a vaudeville performer to an Emmy Award-nominated actress by the program. Her most renowned performance was as Granny Clampett, and Granny was not short on eccentricities. It's not difficult to recall her preparing her renowned victuals, including fried possums. Although this recipe does not appear in her renowned cookbook, it served as the basis for several delectable others. In addition to recipes, the cookbook features illustrations and character profiles from the notorious television series. Granny delivers a whooping. Regardless of the season of the program, Granny is perpetually attempting to reason with Jethro. Irene Ryan, who was notorious for her determination, once disclosed in an interview that she delighted in the script whenever it called for her to strike him. Additionally, she admitted that she exerted her complete strength with each and every strike. Jethro, despite his youth and strength, must have been in considerable discomfort after performing more than 2 attempts.